Okay, well, I already did it. Hey out there, this is Tales from the Void. Tales from the Void. And we're back on season 2, because everybody keeps saying season 2 now, I guess. We want to welcome a new guest. I guess first thing we want to do is talk about the hiatus. Well, me and David, we were just having a thing. We were just having issues. I wanted a mic. He didn't want to get a mic. We finally figured out those mic issues. Okay, I got a nice mic now. Look at this thing. It's nice. Oh, you can't see it because it's just audio. But it's a nice mic, right? It's very nice. And also, David was an asshat, never told me what he wanted to do. And then we were just, we're gone for a while, right, Dave?
Nigga, I told you I had
what's
PS5
going on?
headphones that could be the mic and the headset.
No, that was never told to me.
I told you
as a thing,
times.
and then that's why we had to just.
Nope.
That's not how it happened.
Man, shut up with your
that's
blurry
a lie.
ass.
It's a liar. Well, guys, no, I'm very. As you can see, you cannot see. I'm in 720p right now, which is very nice. It's just for my two co-hosts to see. This is audio only, unfortunately.
Look at you.
Because I'm the only section one of the three.
You want to be bougie all the time when it comes to technology, but you can't get a better mic, a better camera.
No, this guy.
I'm just saying.
So we want to. Oh yeah. So another thing is we're gonna change it up a little bit. We do current news. I think me and David has always been like we're not gonna do hot. We're not trying to do hot things of the day because that's been done several bajillion times. We're not really into doing that because sometimes me and Dave just isn't like what's going on, right, Dave? We're not just here to just be like, hey, look at this thing that we don't really like. You know what I mean? So we were like, we're just gonna do a little bit more explain about the topics at hand instead of just being like current news all the time. Yes, we'll probably talk about movies that we do like. Like right now, we'll be talking about the Batman a little bit because I didn't finish it, unfortunately. But we'll be talking about the Batman, but just Batman overall and not just Batman the movie. Just Batman overall. So that's kind of how we're going to go for it. So that's basically how we're going to roll. So does anybody, since, like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit. Does anybody want to talk about new things? But actually, let's talk about our new co-host. Nick, say hi to the kids there. Say hi to the kids, Nick.
What's up? Pleasure to be here.
Say hi.
Thank you for having me.
What's up? So I know Nick from a thing called D&D.
It's a good thing.
That's always happens. That makes sense. It always happens that way. He hates my characters.
No. The first one I played with was tolerable. He just rambled, and I could handle that. The most previous two, I wish did not exist. You decided to play an uppity teenager who was spoiled rotten, and no. Honestly, even the second one you played, it was just weird. Like it wasn't really that bad. It was like I could still talk to that character. Like the first character was just he was goofy. Like he was just kind of a free spirit, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's doable. I can handle that. Then there was the teenager who could talk to his dead grandma, which I'm like, all right, that's weird, but I can handle that. Then we get uppity, like spoiled, rotten teenager who's only been handed everything and just doesn't know how to treat people, and that's just irritating as a whole. Like that's just giving me PTSD from like growing up.
To be honest with you, I disagree. But that's how it is. I think. What the person.
And now we got the most recent one, which I'm getting used to because it's like, all right, the new one is like hyper religious and statistic driven, and it's a very interesting combination. It's just Jesse likes to find characters that just like to cause a conflict instead of coercion between the characters.
The word you're looking for, Nick, is cunt.
No. That's the third character. Just the third character. This most recent one is like I'm going to give this the fourth one time in.
I'm just good. Hey, look, I'm just good at making annoying.
I mean, I feel like you could do great with a non-annoying character, but you don't want to listen to me.
But honestly, all these characters are very great, and they're very
like
nice,
G was fine. G really wasn't that bad.
So we talk. G was just kind of like, I'm just gonna do a relaxing character. Like sometimes I just do relaxing characters. Like, don't get me wrong. I just sometimes I'm just like, well, I want to. I just want to be a nice girl, like
no, don't. You can't lie to this audience like that.
But yeah, I saw Nick. We saw Nick at D&D, and I said, one of the things is he was well. I mean, we met up at D&D. Sorry, but we were having a conversation about Kingdom Hearts, and he was like yapping on about Kingdom Hearts, about like all the history, and I'm like, oh, this is probably a good person to put on the show, because obviously he knows Kingdom Hearts by the front and the back, and if you know Kingdom Hearts by the front and the back, you're pretty much a nerd from a nerd PhD.
Even
so, I was like, okay, let's put him on.
I mean, even I'll say like there's stuff that I miss just because there's like the little minute details, but it's like the overall is I kind of have the overall arcing. And I find it very interesting that I am the token nerdy white guy that just got added to a nerd podcast. This is going to be very interesting.
I mean,
yeah, you're the token one, unfortunately.
How's he token?
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to make
white.
It. You're the token. You're the token.
I'm just the nerdy white guy.
Well, that's where we're at. We're more diverse. You're just a nerdy. We're the nerdy white guy. That's what you get.
This is not where I thought I'd be in life.
We wanted you on. Yeah, I know, that's what I thought. I thought you were going to be doing a lot of things, but unfortunately no. But yeah, so Nick is on here, and we're excited to have him on. But first, we're gonna a little bit talk about Doctor Strange.
I haven't seen it.
I watched Doctor Strange at Balt. Yeah, I thought you'd seen it.
The plan was to get people together.
Unfortunately,
but none of that. No one could come up with a definitive time frame.
No, but it transpired. Okay, well, I guess we'll talk about that later. But just a little bit. I love Doctor Strange. I'm a mark for Doctor Strange. I know nobody likes Doctor Strange, but
I feel like Doctor Strange does have a good following.
It literally beat the Batman in sales.
I mean, we can talk about that. I just think like Doctor Strange has such a cool concept on him. I don't know enough about him to really go into detail. But like he has the ability to kind of just he's kind of very similar to Dr. Fate from DC Comics, but in a much different aspect. Like where Dr. Fate is more so like whoever wears the helm and the cloak and the Ankh of Dr. Fate gains the powers, and he aims to take control over very magically adept people, where Doctor Strange is Sorcerer Supreme, but he is a wizard.
I thought Dr. Fate was like they just take over your body.
He does. It's literally an entity that lives in I believe it's 3 items, and he just you just kind of run through that.
And then they're just like, we'll give you 1 year to be yourself, and then they're like, all right, time to be back, Dr. Fate again. It's real shitty.
I mean, the concept behind Fate is very interesting. Like the last iteration I think I saw of him was when they did Young Justice, and
I really love
it was Zatanna's father, because Zatanna put on the helmet, and then because he had more years in practice in magic, he took over the helm, but she lost her dad, and it was a very interesting concept behind that character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, Jesse, you don't know this shit.
So what I would... No, I don't. I don't know Dr. Fate. I only know Marvel stuff. So yeah, I'm more. But
Strange is very cool because
I've read Doctor Strange comics.
Strange is cool because he just adds in all those.
Because he's cool. Because
he adds in the ability of the multiverse.
Weird. Yeah, which is cool. But the only thing is, there's not a lot of multiverse in the movie.
I heard
it was very horrific. David will have.
Well, I feel like there's limitation,
and that's all real.
I feel like the limitation definitely comes from
I didn't know I didn't know who the director was. Once I knew it was from Evil Dead, I was like, "Oh, this makes sense."
Okay, no, that'll track
Person from
them.
Evil Dead,
like, but they do have like the limitations. Like, we can only go through so many like multiverses in this one movie time span, because I believe the premise is he's being like there's a different version from a different multiverse that of like an evil version of Strange. Or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we saw one of them, David. I think the one you were talking about. Remember What If? I think you're right. I think that did.
He was the evil one.
Yeah,
they took him from the Rift, I believe.
Yeah, he popped.
I mean, that's just going off of source material.
Yeah, he was the one. Did he have Did he have like the dark book, like the Scarlet Witch had?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that was him. Yeah, he comes up. Yeah. So I guess we'll talk about that a little later.
Also, Wanda got fucked in that movie.
What with you guys? With your opinion, what do you? So with you guys, what do you think how the Marvel verse is at right now, and how you're feeling about it?
So there was a trailer that just dropped about an hour ago.
She-Hulk, my goddess,
She-Hulk, and I watched it.
My fucking goddess.
Okay, you need to calm down, sir.
No,
but so from what I saw, I don't know much about the actress, but from what I'm seeing, how she's taking the role, how she's doing, just from the trailer, she looks like she's taking it full-heartedly and playing the character very well. And I think it's very funny that they added in Mark Ruffalo to continue on, which like, Hulk, obviously. But it's a good combination of like two very good actors from what I'm seeing. So I'm very excited to see how they take that forward. I know with Thor, Love and Thunder, that seems very interesting. It seems like they're going, like, Marvel likes to keep it more on the lighthearted side with a little bit of tragedy or conflict in some spots, but they try to keep it more so on like we're fast paced, we're keeping the entertainment of everybody going.
You could see, I mean, DC tried to go the opposite way, and it completely fell on its ass, where it was way too dark. And nobody gave a crap. I mean, it can be dark, but it just can't be dark for dark's sake.
I think if they do it correctly, they do have the potential to do very well with a very serious and dark storyline. They just have to choose the correct comics to go off of it. Like, you go off of Flashpoint Paradox. That's a huge one that can be taken in a very, very well, like, distributed way. You add in, like, characters from the Flash TV series, like Zoom, Reverse Flash. You can make that kind of gritty. The potential is there. They're just taking it in a way that a lot of people are saying, like, oh, well, I don't like it. I'm like, well, that doesn't mean it's necessarily terrible. I'm not saying it's great, not in any way, shape, or form, but I just feel like the potential is there. They just have to find the right niche for it. Either that or like you can, like, there's a subject we can get into later, because I know what our topic is for today, and I'll save it for that. But like, I have what I think would be a good fit for that kind of aspect of a DC style of like gritty and dark, while still being able to hold that attention without going into the point of like horror or a thriller aspect.
Okay.
I also want one more.
I was gonna say, for me,
Dave.
For me, I like what Marvel's doing, but I feel like their TV shows having I feel like their characters they're trying to have shine are being like outshined because they have characters that people already know about. Like, I hope the Hulk is not in her show in every episode, because I feel like it would take away from her character.
From what I have the feeling of, like, I don't think he's gonna be the main focus.
Which
he's
also,
there to kind of help her gaining control over, like, how do you do it? How do I handle it? And she's like already showing like she has much more of a less rage induced Hulk, like the She-Hulk normally is.
Also, did anybody notice how the CGI looks too CGI?
In some scenes.
Okay, I thought it was
like I think like the first scene
I kind of looked at
where
it,
she like first turns into She-Hulk, it looked very, very late on heavy. But like there were other scenes that looked when like the side by sides with Ruffalo's Hulk looked really good, honestly.
Yeah. Shit.
But what I would say is like what I think DC could do, and this has been a conversation I've had before with other friends, and I've heard countless times before, is DC, if they want to take off like Marvel has been, they need to legitimately start doing like Netflix series or like taking like, from what I heard about Titans is both very good and bad at the same time.
That first season was trash.
Well, like, here's it. Like, I've looked at clips of it, and it's like, all right, cool. This is a very interesting Dick Grayson. He's not bad at what he's doing. He seems to be running really well. Hawk and Dove seem very interesting. When I saw Dr. Light, it was like, like he seemed fine. It was just like, when I think Dr. Light, I immediately think of like OG Teen Titans.
Dr. Light.
But that's just my nostalgia kicking in. I'm going like, well, this is what I'm used to. This is what I have to see. I'm like, well, no, you can experience different things and it can be better. But like so far, the Jason Todd from like the clips and stuff I've seen of that series, he's been fine.
I feel like it's not. I feel like that person playing him is just not for him, though.
I feel like he's pushing himself to be in that role, but I feel like give him the time in and let him kind of figure out where he wants to truly take the character. He can do a very good job. We just have to get to the very dark part of his death.
Yeah, well, I mean, you already have the death. You already had the death in the show, and it wasn't all that great. Honestly.
Oh, it wasn't? No.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I really should get around to watching that series in full.
Let me tell you, just skip first season, bro. I mean, you shouldn't, but so like, I love how like you can.
It's tell pretty Dick Grayson.
Well, the first season you could tell how they wanted to save animation because they were leading to something big, but then once they got to Trigun, he looked like the most shittiest. Jesse can attest to this. He looked like the shittiest CGI character ever.
Well, my only complaint from what I saw about him, from what I heard, was limitations on Garth.
Yeah,
like I understand because like it's the first season, you only want to do you don't want to really go too hard in the paint with it. But it's like, how hard is it to go with the CGI tiger, gorilla, and like a snake? Like I feel like when I think Beast Boy, he is either honestly, I think a creature that can fly, a gorilla, a tiger, and like one other thing. Like you can pick any random creature and just give him like 4.
Give me the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Like yeah, like the T-Rex, but like I feel like the T-Rex is a bit much. So like you work into that, but like here's a tiger, here's a gorilla, here's a creature that flies, and you could have left it at that.
No. Yeah. But I mean,
You guys watch the Brendan Fraser show?
What is that?
The Brendan Fraser one. What was it called? I forgot what it was called. Those DC. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Which?
I have not watched.
The last thing I remember Brendan Fraser did, and this is my bad because I know he's done other things.
Doom Patrol.
Oh, yeah,
I've never watched Doom Patrol.
I have not. I know he was very excited to play that role, though.
I've just never watched it.
I heard it's a very good show, and I also watched Peacemaker.
I never watched Peacemaker either. I don't like.
But I
deal with Suicide Squad.
I actually like Suicide Squad. Actually, I did like Suicide Squad. I liked the movie.
Get the fuck out.
The second one, that was good. Not the first one.
I mean, like, I think they did fine for what they were. Like,
Squad.
I mean, I can get into my complaints about the weakest character of that movie. And we all know who it is. Like, it was Jared Leto's Joker. Like, I've ranted about this too much, where it's like my biggest complaint is, like, I think as an actor, Jared Leto is very good at what he does. I think he just gets put into a position where he's not getting the correct way of being able to portray the roles he's given. And the problem is, I think they did give him that liberty of playing the Joker, but that he decided in going into, I'm going to be every version of the Joker.
I'm going to be the gangster Joker.
He tried to be the Joker that the suspended Joker is like a torturer Joker. He tried to do Jack Nicholson's Joker. He tried to do Mark Hamill's Joker. He tried to do every like iteration. And I was like, okay, I know he's not the focus character of this movie, but you're putting him in here too much to where he's so spread across the board that this is not making any sense.
Honestly,
like, Margot Robbie killed it as Harley Quinn. I think she's great at that role.
Yeah.
Like, Will Smith, I think, did a very good job as Deadshot. Captain Boomerang was very funny. Like, granted, the first movie wasn't great, but it was a fine movie to watch if you're looking to kill some time and just watch something that'll just like distract you a little bit. The first Suicide Squad isn't terrible. Like, I'm not saying it's a award-winning movie in any sense.
Yeah, fuck that movie.
It's an award-winning movie. It needs to deserve an Oscar.
No.
So since Suicide Squad, you're talking about Suicide Squad, and it's Wayne's parents technically died of suicide. No, they did. They
so if you want,
I couldn't figure out a transition. So we're going to talk about Batman because I love Batman. I'm a mark for Batman.
Jesse, you say you're a mark for everything.
I love Batman.
No, and this
as
is
I've
where...
noticed.
No, I'm a mark for Doctor Strange and Batman, but I'm a big ass mark for fucking Batman. Anything Batman, I'm there
comes
for.
The part.
Okay, I watched all the Batmans. I think I watched all of them. I love the Jack Nicholson. I love the '90s Batmans, even the crappy. Those are just goofy, but they're like in my heart. Batman's like the Riddler.
See, this is the part of this show where I should be like, "Hey, Nick, me and you should quiz Jesse on Batman information since he's such a mark for Batman."
I mean, I am down to like.
I'm a mark. I mean, I'm a mainstream mark.
Yes. So
because even David's David likes Batman Beyond, and I'm like, where's Bruce Wayne? Like, it's not Bruce Wayne's show. I'm like, where's Bruce Wayne?
An old man, and he's teaching a young man who's actually who is his son cares. Because that's like a canonical thing that they did. He's half his dad and is half Bruce Wayne's kid. It's weird.
Miranda White is a bitch.
But like, I mean, if
are they making like a show or a movie or something?
It's in discussions, I believe.
There was going to be a movie, but there was a writer, a director for it. But then last minute he was like, "Nope." But this was like a long time ago.
I mean, it's the same thing with the Nightwing movie.
Isn't like Michael Keaton going to be a Batman?
Yes, he's going to be in Batgirl.
So he was going to come back to play the Batman for Urza Miller's The Flash, and Urza Miller decided to just do some very dumb decisions.
Let's be honest, chokeslam a bitch, rob people, go in people's houses.
He tried to fight somebody at a karaoke bar, and then he got out of jail and tried to fight somebody else. So it's not looking great for Urza Miller's The Flash.
We're really not getting that Flash movie.
Well, the whole DC thing is like just down the toilet, in the tubes. Somebody pissed on it. Somebody took a dog shit on it, threw it on a plane, and then dumped it in the ocean. That whole DC line is done.
Right now,
here's the thing.
It's just gone.
Go ahead, David.
I think this is right though, but Discovery has bought Warner Brothers.
I would say Jesse Double. I would say that should be
we should double check. Yeah, let's double check our information. We just can't take it from. Yeah, we double check here.
Now, while Jesse's looking that up real quick, I will say the big thing that the DC Universe is working on right now is they are doing a revamp after.
Because they're scrapping a lot. They're like canceling a lot of TV shows.
I mean, there's that, but also like the comic book line is going through a major change with like killing a lot, doing like we killed off all the mainstays of the Justice League, like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. Like a lot of them, and like that was a big comic cover they did. And there's also redoing a lot of stuff, like in certain Batman in certain stories, the Bat family. Jason Todd is now has his own Robin, and I have not had a chance to look into that yet. But I'm very excited to see how he's taking a protege. I mean, he fought alongside like Swamp Thing and Starfire and like a couple other characters in Red Hood and the Outlaws. Like there's so many possibilities you can go with that. But I definitely think like this is going to be an interesting aspect of seeing Jason Todd fight alongside a sidekick.
So here we did a fact check, and yes, Discovery and Warner, they have merged merged as one. into Warner
Okay,
Media.
So
David is correct.
Like, and they're literally like canceling things, like the whole Wonder Twins thing. Destroyed, done.
Yeah.
I'm glad, and I'm fucking glad.
Yeah, Batgirl got canceled too.
Because
which nobody watched, but I was gonna go to like a party for
because
it,
they're
but
right.
I never watched it.
They said that when it comes to DC heroes, they need to have their own fucking studio like Marvel to be focused on, and not these fucking TV shows. I mean, the TV shows are fine as long as you do it right, but if you're gonna do these superhero shows and whatever, you literally got to have your own separate team to do all it.
And then like what I'm saying is too is like I think DC is about to miss the boat already.
Yeah, they got
you know what I mean?
Huge.
I think they're already missing the boat. And then if they don't get together, they're gonna have because I think people are gonna have superhero fatigue. And even if it was good, nobody wants to watch it. So my thing with it
is, I think that the superhero genre is like truly still here to stay. It's going to be here for a while.
Oh, it'll never die.
Just like I think now is the time with a new merger happening for Warner Brothers and Discovery. I truly think that this could take them in a good direction, and now is the time for them to go. Okay, cool. Here's what we've done in the past. Here's what works. Here's what doesn't. Let's start strengthening what works, and let's try to correct what hasn't worked in the past.
The only thing that I'm scared of is that since, like I said, Discovery wants to do this and putting things on the chopping block, I'm in fear for Static Shock live action, Blue Beetle.
I truly think that this is my personal opinion about it. I think that this is a risk they should be willing to take because Static Shock did such a good job. Like that had such a huge, like, granted, early 2000s fan base, which you're going to get a lot of the people who grew up with Static Shock and that kind of whole line. I think it's a worthwhile risk of taking. Blue Beetle, I think, is another one worth taking just because like you can either do OG Blue Beetle, you could do the new Hispanic descendant Blue Beetle.
I feel like
I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. But like you have potential to go off of that. So I think it's one they'll probably try to go back with some of the well-known titles of like, hey, we're gonna try to do a new Superman.
Yes.
We're gonna try to do like they have the potential to do a lot of different things. I just think going with like two well-known characters and two like possibly very well-liked characters but not as much of focus given to them is a great way of going forward. But the big thing I think they should do is legitimately make like 2 miniseries if they're going to do a movie so that we can get a little bit more information on that family going on those characters in that world going forward to get people excited.
Mm-hmm. Agree with that.
Right. Well, what I was really saying is, superhero is one that, I mean, they have multiple iterations of Batman. And speaking of multiple iterations of Batman, what is your guys' favorite Batman? Your favorite Batman movie?
So,
what
for
killed
me,
the dinosaurs?
Wait, what?
No, God, no.
That one's the best one. Yeah, Batman or Robin is probably the best one.
Okay.
Yep, we're gonna say it here, folks. It's the best one. Not Dark Knight. Not the first Batman from 1991. Literally Batman and Robin. One of the classics. Probably should have won an Oscar, to be honest.
This is a hot take.
Correct? Or am I correct, Nick?
This is actually a hot take of mine. I actually did enjoy Batman and Robin just because I thought it was like
right.
When I first saw it, I was like, this is weird but funny at the same time. Like, I didn't take it super seriously. And if you look at it as more of a comedy, less of like a superhero movie.
But my Batman, my Bat credit card.
That was hilarious. That was so good. Yeah. Like, I really thought that was just a great scene.
Don't leave the cape without it.
Yeah, it was like 1960s Batman the movie basically, but it was in the early 90s.
If you want my honest opinion of like the best Batman movie, I look away from like the live action. I always fall towards like the animated. And like one of my favorites will always be Under the Red Hood. It gives you the backstory of Jason Todd, how he became the Red Hood. what he has gone through, and it does it so well. Plus you have like, it's going against like the normal voice actors for those roles. Like you have John DiMaggio, the voice of Bender from Futurama, and Jake the dog from Adventure Time voicing the Joker, and he did a fantastic job. And like you just get like this, and Neil Patrick Harris voicing Nightwing for what little bit he was in there. And it was a very good movie.
That was a weird cameo.
Like the animated series of movies are always very well done, and I will always have a respect for. I have to double check because I want to make sure I say his name right.
Other than the first half of The Killing Joke, that makes sense. When I saw it in theaters, I was with a group of people, and when we saw the first half of it, the guy sitting next to me were looking at each other like, what the fuck was that? And okay, now we're into the actual Killing Joke, the actual good parts.
I think The Killing Joke and Death in the Family are were legitimately like two of the hardest like storylines to kind of tap into.
Yeah. Jason Todd did not have a good.
He has the hardest go of it, and I truly think
I don't know.
that
Dick was up there.
He like it's just so it's like very difficult to sit down and kind of like, oh, he'll be fine. No. Like this is what happens when you give a fan base a voice, and it's like, oh, it hurt when you kind of sat there and went, oh, people, and then like it came to a vote. I can't remember the year, but they were like, oh, we're gonna let everybody choose. Like, do you want to let Jason Todd die? We'll let you choose in the next issue. And then people went, yeah, kill him. We don't like him. And they went, wait, why'd you do that? Why'd you listen to us? Like, because you said get rid of him. But through like the animated series, like if there's actually a really cool thing that I love to notice is that Kevin Conroy in the animated series for Batman, the animated series, he voices Batman. The Joker was voiced by Mark Hamill. They've worked together in those two roles. If one of them gets one of those roles, if Kevin McCoy is playing Batman, he will own, and the Joker is, Kevin Conroy is playing the Batman, he will only let Mark Hamill play the Joker. They have like a friendship that they built with each other and a rapport because they just bounce off each other so well. They will only work together in those two roles.
Oh, that's cute.
Like if they
But didn't Mark Hamill say he's not doing Joker anymore?
Not from what I've heard. I think he said. I don't think he.
Okay, I thought he said.
I don't think he wants to go any further with the Arkham series of games, just because the Joker is now dead in that series, and like.
Oh like, yes,
that's not a spoiler. Like if you are so far behind, because that was so many years ago now.
No,
like,
sure, bro.
Really? I didn't know.
It was such a like that storyline for those games were also so good. Of like. The Joker toxin was injected into Batman, and he was slowly becoming the Joker, which creates the Batman who laughs in that kind of aspect. In like one storyline of the Batman comics.
I fucking love the Batman.
It's not that Batman who laughs. It's not Bat. Oh God, what is that storyline? I don't remember that storyline off the top of my head.
It's literally just the Batman who laughs trilogy.
But I will say the Killing Joke is definitely like a phenomenal, like the way they did it, because Mark Hamill read the Joker's speech like a few years prior at a con, because they were like, would you be willing to read it? I was like, well, I don't see why not. And he just went with it, and everybody just, you could hear the audience just go dead silent to listen to him just pour out that voice. And like some people, like when I heard it, it gave me chills, because it was like, this dude's falling into this role so heavily. It's so crazy to hear. And like it was like that final speech, like before the ending of the Killing Joke, where the Joker tells Batman the joke. And until we got the animated series, we never knew how that scene ended, because in like the comics, the Joker tells Batman the joke of, the two inmates from an insane asylum trying to escape, and it ended with you would see like the laugh bubble of like someone laughing, and you never knew what happened at the end of it, because you see that Batman laughs, but you don't. It just kind of pans out of frame. But then we get the animated movie,
right?
And you just hear the Batman's laugh until it fades out. Joker stops laughing entirely, so that kind of doesn't necessarily confirm the thought of, does he do it? Does he finally kill the Joker? Because we're kind of at that weird impasse. Because the reason the Batman doesn't kill is because he fears that if I cross that line, I'm no better than the criminals I put away. Because there was a scene
because Batman's
also cool. From the fact of he puts himself under some level of self-control, because during the Red Hood, where he's like having a conversation with Jason, he's like, Bruce, I forgive you for not avenging me, but why on God's earth is he still allowed to live? As he's like talking about the Joker, and the Joker's like tied up in a chair, and he says, you didn't think about all the times I wanted to kill him. I've thought about it constantly. But the second you think it's hard to cross that line, it's too damn easy. Because I know the second I cross that line, I'll never be able to come back from it. He holds himself at that line of like, this is my moral line, that if I cross it, I'm done. And that's also kind of like...
Have you watched The Watchmen?
Oh, God. It has been so long that I do not remember The Watchmen.
Okay. I was wanting to ask you...
I know they did a crossover series.
I just wanted to ask about, like... Yeah, what I wanted to ask is that the Rorschachs from... When you were talking about The Killing Joke, Alan Moore made that, because Alan Moore is a genius. Genius writer. He made The Watchmen, which is about Rorschachs, which is basically a critical view of Batman. And do you remember what Rorschachs was like? You can remember. He was very black and white, so it was kind of like the criticism of how Batman was.
Yeah, it was like
where he was very ultraviolet and he only seen in black and white.
Yeah.
Whereas either like he's bad, like you're either bad or you're good. There's no in between. And then there was when the thing happened at the end, he basically died because he just couldn't take that something happened. Any injustice is an injustice in his eyes or something like that. That's how Alan Moore was kind of doing that discussion. But
DC
anyway.
has also done the iteration of what happens if the Batman crosses that line. And that's what we get with Owlman. And we see...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It's not the Justice Society. It's like the evil version of the Justice League in a different universe where all the villains are heroes. Like Lex Luthor is a superhero because he's using like a super suit, or oh god, he's essentially doing what Batman does. But Owlman is literally just like he's just showing like, I'm willing to cross this line because there's a point to. Like, there's no point in letting these people have free will because all they'll do is cause more chaos.
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Like, the basis of it, I can understand to some degree, but he took it to an extreme of going, we will control everything as a world government. We are the superpowers at hand, literally. And if you do not listen, you will die.
Yeah.
Is also Superman in that mirror universe?
I think his name is like Ultraman or something like that. And like,
oh, okay.
They have like Wonder Woman. They have like their own version of Wonder Woman. They have their own version of Flash, Martian Manhunter. There's a Yellow Lantern there. I think it's still Hal Jordan.
That's something they need to get right too. Green Lantern.
So like they can. It's possible. They just have to go with the right one. Like the obvious choice, because everybody will fall in love with it immediately, and they have so many good options for actors to do it, is going with Jon Stewart.
I'm just gonna say this now and get in like elephant in the room. I'm tired of seeing all white heroes. All right, that is just me. Like, I don't care. They can be black, Hispanic, Indian. Give me a color variety. That's all I'm asking for.
There's a lot of possibility with that, because like there was an iteration, like I think when I started reading comics again, the first one I picked was the Green Lantern series, and it was going over, and oh my god, I don't want to get this wrong. It was, I believe he was of Middle Eastern descent, and he was basically in a van that inadvertently had a bomb in it. And they thought he was a terrorist, and he wasn't. So he gets imprisoned, and the Green Lantern ring picks him. And at the same time, during this comic storyline, Hal Jordan has been removed as a Green Lantern. He has no powers. He's depressed. It's real bad for Hal. And then Sinestro shows up, who is like his villain. And he's like, I'm going to give you a ring, but I control how much power you get. And you're doing what I say, because you're going to help me save my planet, which has been overrun by other Yellow Lanterns, which Sinestro is also back to being a Green Lantern, which was weird. And Hal goes to save people like he always did. And as he's in the middle of doing it, Sinestro just goes, no, you don't get to do that. I told you we're doing something. And there was a whole thing with that. But like, just to get back on track, like, I definitely think like the potential of the stories they can do with the animated movies are just so existent that gives us like, because like there's limitations to what they can do with like live action. Like, would I love to see a Flashpoint where we see Thomas Wayne and we see Martha Wayne as the Joker? Like, yes, I would love to see that, because that it just shows like a woman who has gone beyond. So Jesse, just kind of the context on like the Thomas Wayne storyline of the Flashpoint paradox. In this world where Barry Allen saves his mom, it causes this insane chain reaction among so many different heroes. Bruce Wayne is the one that dies in the alley that night. Martha Wayne, at witnessing her son's death, loses her sanity and becomes the Joker. Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. Thomas Wayne is a much grittier and darker Batman who is willing to kill people.
Yeah, no, he shoots guns and all.
Oh yeah, like it's insane. Superman is, instead of being like this, I am a symbol of peace and protection for humanity, he is captured by the U.S. government, kept in a cell because they understand that his powers come from sunlight. Essentially, like that's how it generates power, so they keep him locked away. Cyborg is like so much more kitted out with like tech. Like I think he's more in touch with Brother Eye, if I'm remembering that correctly. I might be wrong there.
Brother, who the fuck is Brother Eye?
Brother Eye is like a program that Batman made to power up the space station that the Justice League use, but also just like a surveillance system to help him and the Justice League identify threats. Okay. There's a lot to go into with that, and I don't know everything about that. Like even I could probably not get all that right now. But like there's like you have that line, you have Batman Beyond, that could be an amazing storyline. Like I really think they could do that well. Like out of like what I have wanted to ask for so long is I want just a movie, like 4 total movies. 1 movie each goes to each of the Robins as their own hero, except for Damian because he still be Robin. Like you have Dick Grayson running around as either, you can have him be Grayson, which is where he's an agent for Spiral, which is just like the spy organization, or you have him be Nightwing and he's fighting the Court of Owls, which I think would be sick. You could tie that in with Damian's story because the Court of Owls is obsessed with the young Bat.
But Nick, they're already doing that in Arkham Knights.
I mean, that's fine, but like you can do a movie series of that. Like, but I'm saying like each character gets their own thing. They can have tie-ins, but like you have a Jason Todd Red Hood storyline where you can technically have it be Red Hood and the Outlaws if you really want to push it. You get Tim Drake just being the best detective because that's canonically been confirmed by like the comics, as all the other Robins go, yeah, no, he's the best detective of us all. We all have our own skill sets, but he's the one who is the best detective of all of us. And then you have Damian Wayne being a little sociopathic shit. And then you just leave it at that. Because then you can just get people invested in that. And that way, when you do like another Batman movie, or you do a Bat family movie, and then it's just a bunch of already established characters coming in and just doing this huge thing. Like, yes, you can mix in Oracle or Batgirl, depending on however, like, late into the storyline you want to go. Like, that's one that I would love to see. I know a lot of people do want to see Batman Beyond, because I feel like that could actually be a very good storyline.
I think that one would work. So, because I know people are getting kind of sick of Batman movies just with the Bruce Wayne part. So, just having some other ones there would just make it a little bit better. That would make sense to me.
So, my thing is, I'm not saying I'm necessarily sick of Batman being Bruce Wayne, but I wasn't necessarily driven to go see like the most recent Batman movie just because, like, nothing against Robert Pattinson. Like, he's a fine actor. It was just like every like promotional thing for that character was just like, I'm angsty Batman in my first few years of being Batman. I'm going, where's Ra's al Ghul?
Yes, that's what it was.
Like, you learning to be this like skilled combatant from the head of the League of Assassins, the Demon's Head. Like, where is that? That's such, like, granted, yes, they did a limited thing, and I feel like they could have done just a much more grittier version with Pattinson, but I don't know, because I'm like, they're not going to do it the way I think they should. Like, I just feel like it's not going to be what I want it to be, and I'm just going to be disappointed.
Just start fresh.
Like, I just think, like, we can legitimately
fresh and give me my goddamn Batman Beyond movie.
I legitimately feel like, get one, like, you can go with any of the previous Batman and go, hey, are you cool coming back to do Batman Beyond? And you could just go, and they go, sure, I'm old enough now. And then they just get to be a grizzled old Batman. Or grizzled Bruce Wayne
with Michael Keaton,
and he just kind of sits there and he's just, I'm gonna teach this young man how to be Batman because we need a Batman.
That would work. Yeah, I think that would work as well. Like you said, you're like a big Batman fan, but you didn't see.
I mean, like, the thing is, like, I'm not even the biggest Batman fan. I just know enough about the Bat family through beating it into my own head.
You're not. You don't know jack shit besides his parents were gunned down in an alley.
So speaking of more Batman, what villains would you like to see?
Clayface.
Instead of stories.
So, what would you say, David?
Clayface.
Clayface would actually be really interesting. You can, like, I feel
70% like 70% of his villains are fictional people, man.
I mean, no, I'm not saying you're wrong. I think that's a fine addition.
Jesse's smirk.
Like, I legitimately think Clayface could be a very interesting addition.
Well, like, Clayface, I'm not like, it's like, if it's like Sandman or something, I'm not.
Sandman is Marvel.
Very excited about that.
Sandman is a Spider-Man villain. Clayface.
Well, I was saying, like, oh no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If it's like kind of like Sandman, and I'm getting like Clayface, I can see where it'd be cool with the CGI part.
I mean, yeah. So if we're going with one that hasn't been picked yet, I feel like now this could have been a really good one for Pattinson's storyline if they wanted to go with a much darker and grittier feel, especially if he would have been like in the Batman position for a few years, like a much later in the line Batman. Legit in a creepy way. They could have done really creepy with it. Is gone with the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter is essentially a guy who's obsessed with Alice in Wonderland, and like he's kidnapped people, and done up scenes from Alice in Wonderland, and like it could be super creepy and super well done, and it'd be like, this is much more suspenseful Batman. Like, he's trying to figure out what's going on. I feel like they could redo Dr. Freeze because they haven't done him in a very long time.
Dr.
But
Freeze?
Yeah,
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Sorry, Mr. Freeze could definitely be an interesting one again to go back to.
It's not that
like
hard.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy Arnold. Arnold's Freeze was funny.
Would kill the dinosaurs. The Ice Age.
The Ice Age.
I hate.
One of the
I hate
best.
and loved all
I
his
do
puns.
want to see like. There's one character I think we need more focus on, and that is an Alfred Pennyworth move. Like,
God bless his
like
soul.
just more focus on Alfred because he is, and this is a definitive thing. I think people will agree.
They did a Pennyworth. They did a Pennyworth show.
I mean, like
canceled or not.
When they
it was
did
just
like
him about
the
being
Gotham's TV series, like you had like a focus on a young Alfred teaching Mr. Wayne, teaching young Master Wayne.
Oh my God, Gotham! That was like, just I don't.
So
that thing was just.
Here's my thing. Alfred is the realest member of the Bat family because this motherfucker has pointed a shotgun at Superman, going, "Why are you near Master Wayne?" And he was willing to shoot Superman with a shotgun, not giving a fuck. He went, "I'll shoot you. I know who you are. I don't care." Because Batman has taken oath not to kill anybody. I have not done such a thing. Therefore, click, click. I'm ready to start shooting.
Dude, the sickest scene in Gotham.
So what would you want? Like his early days, or are you talking about? I would just
love to see more of a focus on like
him, like
of like honestly, if they did a Batman and Superman movie like live action,
they did.
And well, no, I know. But instead of like Batman v Superman, it's like Batman gets brought back to the Batcave and Superman's with him. And Alfred, like just that scene of Alfred with a shotgun showing that level of dedication of going, I will kill you. You back up from my son, essentially. Like that. I want that. Like I want people to see the true dedication that, like, yes, you kind of get a little bit here and there of Alfred's dedication to Bruce. But like, it's just so much more. That, and I think like in a recent series of Comic Line that Alfred dies, and that truly tears the family. That has a huge, massive effect on the Bat family. Not just Bruce. It affects Dick Grayson. It affects Barbara Gordon. It affects Damian. It affects Jason. It affects Tim. It affects everybody.
Well, yeah, but
it's just like,
he's still their father figure.
I mean, yeah, no, he's taking that upon himself like tenfold. But I mean, it's hard to get a full story of like an Alfred story. Like I just want whenever Batman movie they do, I want a good Alfred, and I want him to get more focus. That's all I want.
Well, in the new movie, he's just kind of like Master Wayne. I don't want to be talked to, Alfred. I just want my ice cream.
I mean, essentially, like so.
He's just
Michael Caine did such a good job at it. Like that is I don't want to say he's the quintessential best Alfred. He just did such a good job of going like Bruce saying like no, I was like, well, Master Wayne, I understand that you want to do this, but you do. There are other people who are counting on you, and he like holds Batman accountable. He's like, hey, you're not. I know what you're trying to do, and you're not trying to do anything wrong. But just because you messed up doesn't mean you failed. Like, that is how Alfred, like, he just did such a good job in that role, holding that version of Batman accountable. It was so good. But, like, I mean, total villain, like, just going back to villains, like, I want to see some of the goofy villains, I guess, because it would just be funny. Like, Calendar Man. That's
like Holiday Man.
That would
Calendar
be hilarious.
Man,
you just get a group of the funny ones together, and it's like, oh, this is just gonna be a time. But like, I would love it.
Calendar Man. I don't know.
You can make that so much more of like a child-friendly one, and still have Batman being like out there dealing with them, and they're like trying their best but still failing. But like, there's so
Calendar Man seems like a bat, like a Robin, like what you're saying, like Robin shows, not necessarily like a movie around Calendar.
If you're gonna go into their thing, like technically the main Batman villain that the Robins have dealt with, from my knowledge, because like granted, I also have been so out of touch with it. The last one I remember, like Dick Grayson has dealt with the Penguin in Bloodhaven a good bit, because like the Penguin just likes to bounce back and forth. And the Penguin, I feel like we could get it. Like, granted, wasn't Colin Farrell the Penguin in this most recent iteration of Batman?
I don't know who it was, but he did a fantastic job as Penguin.
Yeah, that was Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's a good actor.
Oh yeah, man, that penguin was great. The makeup was great. I mean, I didn't even like that. I think that was just like the best depiction of penguin I ever seen. That was just great. I like the mobby penguin. That was great. That's why I said when I started to watch it, I was like, yeah, this Batman.
But yeah, like I feel like if they leaned into much more of like, here's a group of goofy villains that Batman has fought over time. That's fantastic. I would love to see that. But if we were to go back into it, like, what's a serious one? Like, give me go with a good Catwoman storyline.
Gross.
Don't go Tim Burton. The Tim Burton one was bad.
I love
like
Tim Burton.
that's my other hot take on that. It's like me personally, I just didn't enjoy it.
Nick,
I just didn't enjoy it. Oh, I'm sorry. No. A crazy cat lady.
Well, guys, this is the last episode. This is the last episode of him being on the podcast. Thank you so much, Nick. I do appreciate it.
Oh, thanks
that
for
you be on here. That hot take is that's a terrible hot take. That's going to Twitter, and and hopefully the mob comes after you and tells you that you are wrong.
Okay, you sending the mob after me and saying, I just hope they tell me they're wrong. That is the least possible. That's the least threatening thing that they're going to do to me. If they find me.
Well, yes, I do like. I guess it's more nostalgic for me. The two Tim Burton movies, especially the Penguin.
Like, I'm not saying
the Penguin and
I'm not in any way saying they're bad. I'm just saying that they are not.
Probably more nostalgia. It means more nostalgia.
Like, it was just like, like, Grant, you had Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. He did a very good job in that because he's playing a very creepy version.
Yeah.
And like I just like it was that Catwoman that was just kind of like, it just felt weird. It was like, why? She's just a crazy cat lady, not a cat burglar. That's not the same thing.
Still was hot.
Then they had for some reason, oh God, what's his name? Christopher Walken.
No,
Christopher Walken in there. I was going, I get it, but why?
I guess they just wanted.
Well, because it was Tim.
I think Tim Burton just like enjoyed working. I think he's had like a project or two at some point with Walken, and he was just like, I think he'd be a good fit.
I just think they wanted to have names.
Yeah, that's why it was kind of gross, and that's why they went with what's his name? Who was the director of the Forever and Batman and Robin?
I can check that real quick.
With your bat nipples?
Yeah, he actually recently passed away, but he was his. It went from like dark to like really campy, and then it went to dark gritty again, and then it went to Ben Affleck. I actually would like the Ben Affleck one, but David was like, no.
Ben Affleck?
I liked him as Ben. I liked him as.
All right, I'm gonna be.
So who is your favorite Bruce Wayne? I guess for you. Who's your favorite Bruce Wayne, guys?
Oh God.
I think Nick's was it
Kevin Conroy.
The animated one?
It's Kevin Conroy. That voice is just so iconic and symbolic to me. That one was super good. I think the other one, I would say, like, Christian Bale did do a very good job. But I mean, like, he did good. He's a good Bruce Wayne. The Batman hurt my throat just listening to him talk. Where's Rachel?
I would say, I guess I may like Michael Keaton, but that's probably also nostalgic.
So my thing is I
didn't like the Michael Keaton.
Like, my other thing, like, I see, like, this is just me personally. I see the Batman 89 movie, right? It was 89? Yeah. I see that more so as a Joker movie, less of a Batman movie. If you can see, it's literally just telling the story of how the Joker became the Joker, with Jack Nicholson doing a fantastic job, by the way, of him just going, that is telling the story of not necessarily to the same level, but like of how the Joker became the Joker. But I think they did a fine job with it. Like,
it was good. And it was like, in the creepy parts weren't kind of toned down, but then Tim Burton was like, "Okay, give you free reign, Tim Burton." Then Tim Burton turned it a little too much. And like, okay,
the ones with Val Kilmer
with Camp.
Was he also on 89?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Val Kilmer. Oh yeah, no, wait a minute. No, Tim Burton after the second one, they're like, no.
Yeah, he did 2 movies with,
and they went with Val Kilmer for.
He did the one with Val Kilmer.
You know, he did.
Yeah.
No, Tim Burton. No, he didn't. No, he was done after the second one, and then it was the other two.
Oh, he did do
Forever and Batman and Robin.
He did do the 1989 with Michael Keaton. He did do 89 with Keaton and Nicholson.
Yeah, but he didn't do the other ones. I knew that because it didn't look like his style. They looked more studio.
He also did Batman Forever.
At that point,
he did Batman Forever. Am I wrong? Am I losing my mind?
I don't think he did Batman Forever.
You call yourself Batman fans?
I said it was produced by Tim Burton.
Joel Schumacher.
Schumacher, but Burton was attached by production. That's where I get confused.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but produce could mean he just like settled.
I mean, he still had a major say in the movie.
Goodbye.
Because like production does have,
but you could see that it was a very, very campy.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite Riddler, which is
Jim Carrey. Yeah, he did a fine job with that. I have no complaints with that.
Favorite Riddler. Yeah, it was good. It was a wacky Riddler thing. It was ridiculousness, but like I said, those movies are kind of like you were saying, they're like, or they like what I hold these up as like great movies. No, but they're, if you want to go eat, have some popcorn, have some fun. It's not like they were not fun or not entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Did you all ever see the one where Batman and Robin, they were doing a backroom take about they were doing like interviews about it, and everybody was just like, yeah, we know it's terrible. Basically, like everybody's like, yeah, we know it's like terrible. We're
I mean, like that's looking back at any movie. You can do that with any movie now. Batman, like, hey, or this movie that came out X years ago, how do you really think it did looking back? It's like, oh, at the time we thought it was terrible, but now it's like, oh, well, this is fine because we have a small cult following to it.
It's still terrible.
Yeah. Batman and Robin is just, it's entertaining, but like,
it's by no means the best Batman movie. I just think it's like, if you want to just watch something that's going to make you laugh, just watch that. It's fine.
Rubber lips are immune to your charms.
Yeah, like it wasn't not entertaining. It was just like, oh, okay, this is not what the Batman I like, but hey, man, I could sit here and watch it. I mean, sitting there with like Freeze with like his little ice slippers and
like I think you could do like so much. Like if they did a really serious take on Mr. Freeze, they could do something so impactful of like, where it's a lot more serious of a take instead of like the goofiness of Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to like because I feel like even they told Arnold, don't take it too seriously, if I remember like an interview correctly. But like you like in some of the animated series and movies that like they've done with it, it's like he's so distraught when someone threatens the safety of his wife. Like you see just this level of of a broken man of like, if you see like the energy being used to keep her alive is tampered in any way, you see this man truly get upset because that is the person he loves more than anyone. And you see that drive for him to keep going forward because he's trying his best to save her life, but he's gone past the point of morals. Yes. Like he's like, I will do whatever it takes.
I'm thinking why he's doing that. We cut when we go to that memory, we cut to him in an ice cream shop. And he's scooping it out.
I mean, like
that's very serious.
Like I think like scene. This is the biggest problem that DC movies are having right now. Like, is they're trying to play it too serious, but they're not dedicating to the right moments, I think.
Yeah, everybody knew nobody really liked Joss Whedon's hammed up one. Was it the
that
Justice
could have been
League
so much better.
All hammed
like
up,
that
where
could
it was, like
honestly like
yeah. Did you watch the cut, the Snyder cut?
It's really good.
Like it's like here's my thing. Like, I think
good,
Ben Affleck could have been a great Thomas Wayne. I don't think he's the right person to play Batman.
I agree with that.
As Bruce Wayne.
Even a middle-aged Batman?
Wayne is not the right fit to me. I think he would have been a much better Thomas Wayne. Tell him to take a lot more serious of like, I want you playing gritty. I want you being willing to kill somebody. And I think he would have been fine with it. I'm not saying it would have been an out of the park home run, but I feel like it would have been a much better role for him than playing Bruce, trying to be like diplomatic with Clark Kent and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Diana, that's her name. Like just that, like it's Diana. They had so much potential, and plus like the trailers for Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, like you ruined so much by just announcing Doomsday. Like if you would have said nothing, Doomsday would have been this amazing like brain busting moment, and like even so, like I saw him, like even I admit that Doomsday did not look great, but it's hard to make Doomsday look good besides being animated.
They could have still made the Doomsday look good by just using the animated Doomsday, but no, they wanted him to look like a fucked up mutated Ninja Turtle.
I mean, yeah, but also like the crazy thing about Doomsday, and this is just a thing that like I know he's a Superman villain, but like just a little fun fact about Doomsday, he can't die. He keeps coming back, and every time he dies, he gains like resistance or immunity to the thing that killed him. So Lex Luthor at one point in the comics intentionally kills him with kryptonite. Guess what can't kill him now? Mm-hmm. Kryptonite. Oh, you shoot him with a gun? Guess who's now has like skin that is now bulletproof? Doomsday is the ultimate ultimate Justice League countermeasure besides Batman. Which one of my favorite scenes from like one of the animated specials, I guess I'll call it, is like when Batman's like talking to the members of Justice League, and they're giving him a hard time about how he has like all the constituents for every member of the Justice League. And they've done this through countless times. Like they've done it in the Justice League animated series where he's literally going over like situation X932. Or he has like code names for all of them. Mm-hmm. And it's like how to deal with the Flash, supersonic waves, how to deal with Superman, kryptonite, where he keeps it, how does Martian Manhunter, fire, how to deal with Green Lantern,
take the ring away.
Isolation and separation from his ring, or wait out 24 hours and keep him away from his lantern to charge. He creates the situation for Wonder Woman and everybody, and he goes through, and he has like countless ways of doing it. But then in one scene where he's talking to Superman as he's leaving, after resigning in this animated special from like, he's resigning from the Justice League. And Superman looks like, you created all these constituents and backup plans in case any of us go rogue. What's the constituent for you? And he just looks at him and goes, the Justice League. And he teleports away.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
He created the Justice League to counteract himself. Because Batman, you give him prep time, he can beat anybody.
Yeah.
But you give him no prep time, he gonna get fucked up. That was my favorite argument in high school of people going like, well, who would win in a fight, Batman versus Superman? And I think that was when I started looking in comics. I was like, and I asked one of my friends, like, there was like, Superman was obvious. I'm like, well, actually, I have a question. Are you giving Batman prep time? And he's like, you can give him like 3 weeks of prep time. I'm like, cool, Batman wins. Like, yeah, no, he doesn't. Like, he's gonna will create a plan and how to convince Superman he is winning this fight, get him into a situation where he will trap him in a cage of kryptonite and kill him if he needed to. He won't, but he would basically subdue him in kryptonite, send him into the Phantom Zone, and off he goes. He wins. Problem dealt with. Evil Superman gone. Mm-hmm. Like,
I'm not worried.
Like, legitimately,
he says I'm not worried.
That's why so many people are fans of Batman, is because he is smart enough to outthink anybody. He just needs prep time.
Because he's awesome.
Take away his prep time, he will get fucked up.
Because he's awesome.
Every way possible.
Yeah, that is very true. But he is a smart mother effer. And that's why I'm a mark for him. So I'm a mark for this man. So guys, I guess we're getting to the end. So I just want to put a little things. If you like this episode, you need to go to the past episodes because we have a lot more there. We have talking about Venom 2. Talking with our friend Alex, which that's great. Alex and them arguing back and forth about Kingdom Hearts. How Kingdom Hearts is terrible, right, Nick?
Jesse, I don't think you want
how the story is terrible, right, Nick?
Jesse,
right. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Nick.
From me, because I will run. Your name will be mine. And, do not.
You know what I'm saying? So,
do not talk shit on the game I love.
You agree with me? So and
just let him have it.
My other friend Guap Guapi, also is there too. We have discussions there too. You know, we have little discussions. Oh yeah, Beatrice. Whatever. I like calling her Guap Guapi. I like saying that anyway. But yeah, Beatrice is also on there. You can talk to. Me and her go talking back and forth. That's another one too. We have a lot of episodes. Just come and listen. You know, it's David's a hoot. I'm a hoot, and now Nick's gonna be a hoot. So you might as well just go back, listen to all of them. You know, even though it's sometimes a little bit crappy audio. Well, who gives a shit, right? And let's just keep just play up till here, and then listen to us, and then follow us on Twitter, and then follow us on TikTok, and follow us on I think Instagram too. And then just be like a super fan for some reason for your best Frederick Maryland nerds. And be on there. So, I'm also in some other stuff in the Creaky Nannerlings studio community. I've done a commentary on my show Hook Up F Up. If you want to listen to that, it's a fictional episode of like comedy. It's a little different than what we're doing here, but if you want to listen to that, you go over there. It's coming out this Friday. I think I'm going to maybe post this maybe Monday or Friday, but Friday they'll also be open, so definitely listen to that as well. It's a really good, interesting thing. I'm also working on a sci-fi series as well. That probably wouldn't be out till maybe at least the winter or fall, next fall, but just help you up on that. Nick, did you want to talk about your streaming thing that you're going to be starting? Maybe
I am up and running with that. I will probably be streaming on Twitch. My channel name is MXHawk36. I have done one test stream so far, so once I'm up and running, we'll just get the word out and see how it goes from there.
Yeah. I mean, you can obviously trust somebody that agrees with me that Kingdom Hearts is trash.
Here we go.
So Kingdom Hearts story is trash. So that's what I mean. So definitely watch him on Twitch too, because he's very interesting. So now you can listen to him you can ask him about every Batman question that you have, and then he can tell you in very intricate detail.
I have a decent amount of knowledge.
Do that for him.
Do not make it seem like I'm a god of knowledge of this.
No, just keep asking him all those questions, right? And then ask him, and then say Kingdom Hearts' story is trash, right? And then he'll tell you that he agrees with you in very great detail. I don't know.
Once in your life.
I don't think he can stop.
What else? David, do you have anything else?
I guess we can say next time we do this, I'll go watch Doctor Strange, that way we can talk about it more. All I know is that there's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can't even talk about Doctor Strange, one of my favorites. Batman, as I said, guys, Batman is still one of my favorites. He's a mark. I'm very much a mark for him. Batman-y. But anyway, so next week we'll talk about something else. We'll figure it out. As I said, me, David, and Nick, we don't do this fucking let's do a recent movie thing. Okay, we're busy people, and we're not going to do that thing because that's just not how we are. Well,
I really like this phone game. I really like this phone game. What? Dislight. It's so fucking fun. Anyway, continue.
That just came out. Don't become a shill for a game. Look, save that for
no. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying shill. I don't mean to say shill.
Please.
I really like.
Wait for a sponsor if you're gonna promote it.
I'm not promoting it.
Man.
No,
yeah, I know. So what I'm saying, just like if you would like to sponsor us, please let us know, and we will. Also, if Disney, if you or any sort of Warner Brothers,
if they sponsor this podcast,
will sponsor us. We'll.
Nick, don't do that.
Yeah, we will shill for you. We're great shillers. Me and Nick and David will sit here and shill for you. We'll say, yeah, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen since sliced bread. We'll do that for you. Yeah. Also, if any sponsors out there, I guess you guys can come if you want. Actually in the Frederick local area if you want to as well. That's another thing. But right now we're just still kind of chilling out, and we're doing ad free right now because, as I said, we're just a little small podcast right now. But also if you would like to donate, we're also on Anchor. There's also like a donate page if you would like to donate. If you would, you can if you want. I'm not saying you could, but if you're a super whatever fan and you really want to help us, thank you. It will help on just like doing our websites and stuff like that, and just helping out the Creaky Narrowlings production stuff. So, David, you have anything else to say? Because I think you were trying to say something.
This game, dog. I can't put it down.
Okay. Yeah, because he plays mobile games like what? So
I can't help.
I would like to say from
phone or console, like.
Yeah, we'll talk about video games sometime too. Me and Nick Dave will have to think of new topics right now, but right now I think we're out of time. So from David, from me, and from Nick, we're going to leave the void for now. So we'll come see you come back to the void in the next 2 weeks. So see you next time. All right, so goodbye.